What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Tripple Rich, and I'm back like Rosa Parks before she spoke up. And today, it's Kicktalk episode 20, and we're gonna talk about the CB94. So without further ado, let's go! Let's break down some fun facts of the shoe before we get into all the nitty gritty. First thing, did you know Nike actually had a problem naming the shoe? The title of the shoe that shows up on the shoebox changed over 3 times during the inception to now. Also, did you know that Nelly, Hot and Her Nelly from St. Louis, he had a collab with the shoe and it was called the Air Dirty? Finally, did you know Charles Barkley had his highest scoring game in his career wearing the shoe? That's right, he dropped 56 points against the Warriors in the first round of the playoffs of 1994. Let's start off with the history of the shoe. The shoe was originally created in 1994, and it was actually Charles Barkley's second signature shoe. But a lot of sneakerheads would argue that this is Charles Barkley's most significant and recognizable sneaker in his signature collection. There were problems titling the shoe due to some certain minor flaws. So, as a history lesson, during the 1994 era, Nike was debuting new technology. This technology was going to be called Air Max Squared. And the reason why it was going to be called this is because there was going to be, in the center of the air pocket, you would have the air bubble at a 5 PSI rating. And then surrounding that, it would be at a 25 PSI rating. Now, because it's called Air Max Squared, what Nike wanted to do was write Air Max to the second power, right? But because of some font issues and whatnot, as you might see even up to today, there will say Air Max 2 CB. Then it went to Air Max CB94, and today it's still reading Air Max 2, as you might be able to see here. Tinker Hatfield was a part of this project. Another big name you might be familiar with is Eric Avar. Both of these guys have had a lasting impact on Nike and have created unlimited classics. I can't even quantify how much they've done for Nike with their design. Now, because Charles Barkley was a big fellow who was very aggressive, one of the underlying ideas for the shoe was going to be foot lockdown. They wanted to make sure that during all the different movements, Charles Barkley would stay secure in his shoe. One of the ways they did that was to create these reinforced lace locks. If you've had the shoe before, these lace locks have a individual system where each lace lock has a piece of plastic and almost like teeth in the lace lock, so that when you do lace up the shoe, there really is no give, no loose movement. And then one of my other favorite details on these CB94s is, I guess they call these outriggers. I would just call it the outsole, but specifically right here, these outriggers were created to look like teeth. It just gives it a more aggressive look, and as far as I know, it actually added to durability of the shoe. Because Charles was a hefty fellow, he needed a shoe that was a tank that would withstand everything he had to give it, and this shoe definitely passed the test. Charles Barkley apparently said, "Don't tell me how to play basketball, and I won't tell you how to design." With that being said, I thought it was very interesting that the design turned out as good as it did, because usually I find that when you don't speak up and tell people exactly what you want, you're most likely going to get disappointed. But this not only did not disappoint, it became a sneaker legend, and it still is today. Look, we're talking about it 30 years later. Now, I want to talk about pop culture, how the shoe is being perceived today, and some amazing moments. Probably my favorite pop culture moment was 2003. Y'all know Nelly from Hot in Here and all the other hits he was able to drop in the early 2000s. Well, because he was on a tear at that time, Nike actually gave him a collab with this sneaker model called the Air Dirty. Super rare. It was patent leather, red and blue, and it was limited to only 1,000 pairs. Charles Barkley's shoe was a hit in '94, but it took a little while to retro. It first retroed in 2003, then again in '09, then again in '15, then again in '22, and there's actually some retros that have dropped recently. I believe this holiday 2024, there's going to be a cool gray and orange version. So the shoe, honestly, since it's been retroed, it's received countless treatments. It's been a hit over and over again. Actually, also in the early 2000s, when those first retros were coming to fruition around '03, I believe it was around '05, they actually released the first ever low-cut Barkleys. And honestly, I'm hoping that they release those again. Now, my personal testimony on the shoe, my thoughts and how I feel on it. As you might imagine, I love this sneaker. This black pair is my favorite version, and the reason is the history behind it. In 2003, when they first came out as a retro, I got my hands on a pair in the same exact color. And at that time, I was playing for a city rec basketball team. And just like I said earlier, Charles Barkley had his highest scoring game wearing these shoes. So did your boy. I remember I had 8 threes, finished with like 32 points or whatever it was, and I just felt super good. And from that moment, I always look back at these shoes as being like a highlight, you know? So, you know, the shoe has come and gone so many times, but this black color has really been my favorite. I've been lucky enough to come across a couple other pairs. I'm still hunting after that black, white, and purple OG one. I'm going to get it one day, but they actually released, I believe it was last year, and they sold out on sneakers. I caught an L. So I still have a lot to look forward to with the shoe, but I am content and I'm very happy that I was able to land this black pair. I got a lot of respect and love for the shoe, and I hope you do too. So until another day, it's Tripple Rich. It's another Kicktalk 20 in the pocket. Check it off the checklist, and I'll be back to talk about another shoe very soon. But until then, I'm going to keep working on my craft. I'm going to keep getting better. I know you will too. So until next time, be safe.